Good evening, students. Today we are going to learn about effect of human activity on the environment. So various activities performed by the human, as a result we are discharging various kind of gases or waste in our environment. And how our environment is going to be affected because of our activities. Like we are running industry, from the industry we are discharging the waste into the river. Also industry produces various kind of chemicals and the gases that is also released in atmosphere. It is not only the industry, even we people are using the fridge, refrigerator, AC. All these also contain various kind of gases. The freezer, which contains CFC for medical purposes. Once these gases are released to the atmosphere, then it is affecting our environment and atmosphere badly because it damages the ozone layer, which protects us from the ultraviolet ray released from the sun. So this dangerous ultraviolet ray from the sun is trapped by the ozone layer. Once this ozone layer is broken or destroyed because of certain other chemical we are discharging in our environment, so this breaking or reducing the concentration of ozone or thickness of ozone in ozone layer is called ozone layer depletion. So we have to learn about ozone layer depletion. That is the first thing. And what are the chemical that is responsible for this depletion? They are called as ODS, means ozone layer depleting substance. That one. Then we will also learn how to protect our environment, what activity we shall take care so that our environment shall not be affected to very high extent. That one. A student, we have already learned about environment. What is environment? What are the components of environment? A study of environment called ecology. The unit of this ecology and environment called ecosystem, where a self-sustained life is possible. The component of ecosystem like biotic and abiotic. This ecosystem needs the energy. Energy is transferred in the form of the food chain. So about that food chain, the producer, consumer, decomposer, again consumer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, those things we have already learned. A student, this thing you must go through the previous lecture if you have any doubt. Okay, so please do not forget these previous things, they are very important. And whatever we are going to learn today, that is just the next topic or continuation of the previous topic. We have learned everything, so you must go through this. What is this? Biosphere. It was this one, component of environment, then the environment itself. So we have finished the topics related to the environment, the component of environment, ecosystem, biosphere, then component of ecosystem like producer, consumer, destroyer, then the source of energy in this ecosystem and classification or arranging these different components according to their food chain called trophic level. And the simple trophic level or the simple food chain are very rare. Mostly they are existing in the complex food chain, and complex food chain is called as food wave, means interlinked food chain. So food chain, food wave, everything we have learned. Today we are going to learn about these parts we have already finished. Today we are going to start with this one, factor affecting environment. It is this one. Here we have to learn about the type of waste and then our activity in this activity the ODS. About this we will learn today. A student, so let us continue with the factors affecting our environment. Here we have to learn about the two things. One is our activity, our activities, this one of releasing harmful gases for environment. So these harmful gases for our environment, we have to learn about, though there are many more, but we have to learn about the ODS only, ozone depleting substance, ozone depleting substance. We will start with ozone layer. What is the use of ozone layer? That one. The other one is our global warming. So they are the greenhouse gases. This leads to global warming, rising or unwanted rise of the temperature of entire globe or entire earth. It is this one. It is related to temperature rise of earth. But this ODS, the ozone layer, which is present in a stratosphere at around 50 kilometer, the layer is between 35 to 50 kilometer. That is, their ozone concentration is reduced. That is called the damaging or breaking of ozone layer. This thing. Then the second one that we have to learn is the waste generated. So waste discharge or generated into the environment. So waste discharged to environment. Here we have to learn about the waste that we are discharging. They are of the two kinds. One is our biodegradable versus non-biodegradable. So non-biodegradable waste, they are harmful to environment. Harmful to environment because they do not recycle easily by the natural material or naturally occurring organism, or they do not decay easily. That one. About this thing we have to learn. Then we have to learn about the how to protect our environment. So the protection, method of protection. Method of protection. From our side, or what a common man can do, they can use this R, even nowadays there are 4 R, but these 3 R are more important. One is reduce the above waste that we are generating, reduce waste generation or the activity. So waste generation. So these waste are generated, so the from certain material. So you need to use that material again and again, because this waste are generated while we are generating some resources, like we are using our cloth, but this cloth what we are wearing or using is manufactured in some industry, and running an industry always damage our environment, because during the processing we are discharging large amount of chemical in the river. We are heating process, during heating process we are burning the coal in our industry, that is damaging our environment. Even the chemical that we are using, Sometimes this odious kind of material like chlorofluorocarbon and many more things are used. So the material or the resources that we are using, it should not be just used once and then thrown away. That shall be used to the last extent up to which we can use. Like the cloth that we are using, the same cloth after wearing, when it cannot be used for wearing further, we can use for the mopping. Rather than purchasing the new mopping pad, we can use these clothes. Many more things are there. Even the water that we are using for washing our vegetable, and another fresh water we are using for the gardening. So this water which is used after washing of the vegetable, that can be used in garden. Okay? So that process is called as the reuse. And the third one is, after reuse, if the material is recyclable, that should be recycled. Recycling, like the plastic and these glasses, they can be recycled in industry again for making the new plastic and the glass. So about this thing we are going to learn. So we have to start with the ozone. We have to focus over this ozone. So what is this ozone that we are going to learn? What is ozone? A student, ozone is nothing but it is an allotrope of oxygen. How the oxygen is existing, that you are already knowing, that oxygen can exist in the form of O2 in our environment. So O2 is most common, but rather than this two molecule, if there is two atom of oxygen, if three atoms are combined together to form molecule, then it is called as ozone. Okay, so right, it is an allotrope that we have already learned, where these atoms are arranged in different form. So oxygen only two are connected, and if this oxygen three are connected, that will form the allotrope. So it is an allotrope of oxygen and allotrope of oxygen. A student, allotrope means the different form. If we consider the oxygen and an element, the element always exists in the form of molecule. So this oxygen 8 valency 6. So this 6 valency, so just by sharing two oxygen atom, it is able to form this O or O2. But there is other way of combining the three oxygen. How is that? More structure is not required for you, but you can just understand, even after combining this, the oxygen, two electrons have combined, but still it contains some unshared electron in their outermost orbit. Okay, so these outermost electron which are not shared, that is temporarily given or allowed to shared with another atom of oxygen without equal sharing from the other. So that's why it is put in this way. Get it? So this way it is written as O3. This is your called as covalent bond. It is also covalent, but a special characteristic where single atom is sharing their unshared electron pair. So that's why it is called as coordinate covalent bond. So there is coordinate covalent bond. Here we are observing that these oxygen atoms are present in these two molecules in their different number and with different bondings. So that's why these two are allotropes. Okay, student, that we have also learned, like in our diamond and graphite. So these two are what? Allotropes. A student, this is very useful for life, because without this oxygen the life cannot exist, because oxygen is used for respiration of food to get the energy, and without energy any cell or any life cannot survive. So useful, very very useful for life. Okay, but unfortunately if it is the O3, then it is not very useful for life, rather it is poisonous, or rather it is lethal. So if you are breathing the ozone rather than oxygen in larger amount, you will get nervous. So that's why ozone is also used as anesthesia. So it is poisonous or toxic. So it is heavily toxic or poisonous. The another characteristic is it is a very good oxidizing agent, where this coordinate covalent oxygen is readily made free for carrying out the reaction. So right, it is a good oxidizing agent. A student, another thing, this oxygen O2 is life supporting gas, and without this oxygen O2 the life cannot exist. So large amount of oxygen present at or near Earth's surface. But these ozone are not present at or near Earth's surface, because if it is present in our environment and breathing this oxygen, that leads to danger to our life. But this ozone is present in large amount in the upper atmosphere. Getting? So whatever the ozone which is produced, it can easily skip to the upper atmosphere. But do not think ozone is produced at the lower Earth surface, then it is going to collect it at the upper environment. No, this ozone itself is formed at the height of 30 to 50 kilometers from the Earth's surface by the action of ultraviolet ray from the sun, where oxygen gets converted into ozone. So right, this it is found in large amount or in upper part of environment or upper part of atmosphere. A student, that particular layer is called as a stratosphere. You might have learned in your earlier standard. The layer from our Earth surface to 15 kilometer or even 15 to 20 kilometer, from our Earth surface to roughly 20 kilometer, it is called as troposphere. From 20 to 50 kilometer, it is called as a stratosphere. After that there is mesosphere, then after that there is exosphere. But those spheres are not required for you, so you just understand it is in the upper atmosphere at height around 35 to 50 kilometer. This height or this region is called as a stratosphere. So it is formed. So found in upper layer, formed in upper atmosphere by action of UV ray. So the UV ray which is coming from the sun on oxygen molecule, means the oxygen molecule which are at the higher standard, they easily gets converted into the ozone O3. So O3 ozone is formed directly at the upper layer. It is not released by us, or it is not moving from the earth's surface to that much. It is formed there itself by the action of UV ray from the sun. This way the UV ray itself get trapped by this ozone layer. So this layer where the concentration of ozone or O3 is very high, that is called as your ozone layer. So this way ozone layer is formed. Okay, student? So we have to learn about this ozone layer. So ozone is nothing but ozone simply means the chemical formula for ozone is O3. So it is O3. And ozone layer means large amount of O3 present at the outer environment, that is called as ozone layer. So write down ozone layer. So it is the thick blanket of O3. Blanket of ozone O3, okay, in stratosphere. If you could not remember this stratosphere, then you can write directly the at height of 35 to 50 kilometer. Okay, student, it is varying in different book. You may get on an average of nearly 40 kilometer, that may be written, or the lower limit of this ozone layer is 35 kilometer, the upper layer is 50 kilometer. That's why I have given the range, and this region is called stratosphere of our atmosphere. A student, if we consider our earth, let us consider this is the earth. Okay, let us consider the earth. Then this earth, around the earth, large amount of gases are there, and you have also learned as we move at height, the concentration of these gases also go on decreasing. That we have learned in our earlier standard also. And around 15 to 20 kilometer, this gas concentration become almost negligible. And again, if you go at the height of the 35 to 40 kilometer, then again in this 35 to 40 kilometer, it is found that large amount of another gas called O3 is existing. So this particular band in which O3 is in larger amount, so this band or this blanket or this region or this zone, it is called as our ozone layer. Are you getting a student? So ozone layer is what? It is the zone. It will be continuously, it will be everywhere. That you have to understand like this. I have just taken just few part of that. It is this one. So if we consider the height from the earth, then up to this, the outer boundary is our 50 kilometer, and this inner boundary of this ozone layer is our 35 kilometer. So this much thickness, this is called as your ozone layer. This is your ozone layer. So it contain what? O3. So contain large amount of which one? O3 only. In this layer, do not think the nitrogen and other gases are present. So they are hardly 0.0000001%, because it is the oxygen which gets readily converted into this ozone. A student, what is happening there? Let us understand here. What is going to happen in this region? Students, this thickness is maximum at their center, not the earth center, the ozone layer center region. Getting? So this have the maximum thickness. Again, coming closer to earth, this thickness means the concentration basically. The concentration goes on decreasing. Student, what is happening? How this is formed? If we consider the sun, so the sun is radiating large amount of energy. The ray which is falling here. So the sun ray contain various type of electromagnetic waves. Okay? In that, it contain your ultraviolet ray, infrared, and the visible ray. The ray with the help of which we are able to see any object, that is called as visible light or visible rays. But there are other source or other kind of radiation coming from the sun which do not help us in looking the object. They may have the frequency lower than the frequency range of the visible light, which is 3800 angstrom to 7600 angstrom. This we will learn in our chapter light by tomorrow or day after that. A student, so the ray beyond that, they are not the visible one. So they have the frequency either lower than that of the visible or higher than that of the visible light. So the ray which have the frequency more than the visible light, they are called as ultraviolet light. So this sun ray which is falling here, it contains three components: light plus infrared plus ultraviolet ray. Okay, these three. While it is falling here, so in this region, oxygen is already there. Okay, student. So what is going to happen? These various component of this light get obstructed by these oxygen atom which are in this region. A student. So once the ray of UV is falling on this oxygen atom, what will happen? This oxygen gets broken into oxygen atom, means the oxygen molecule gets broken into two oxygen atom. But it is not only one or two oxygen atom in this blanket, large number of oxygen O2 is also there. So some of this O2 is broken by UV ray into oxygen atom, means the O2 molecule into oxygen atom, Now this oxygen is very much reactive, means oxygen atom. It can quickly combine with O2 through coordinate covalent bond, and it quickly leads to formation of O3 in this region. So as a result, the O3 concentration is maximum in this region. So all this part get converted means into O3. At the same time, some O3 is also breaking into oxygen. But again, because of this UV ray, it gets converted into ozone. So this, in this region, you will get that there is an equilibrium of O2 and O3. So whatever the O3 is destroying, it get quickly converted into O3, means O2 into O3 by UV ray. O2 into O3 by the ultraviolet ray coming from the sun. Now, O3 back into O2 because of their self disintegration. That is one thing. So, whatever the rate of this self disintegration means conversion of O3, because O3 is less stable molecule than O2. So conversion of O3 into O2, that rate and the rate of formation of this O3 because of action of UV ray coming from the sun, always a balance is existing. So that blanket where O3 is maximum or rate of formation of O3 is nullified by the disintegration of O3. This way O3 is always existing in this blanket. So this blanket where O3 is in maximum number or in maximum concentration is called as ozone layer. And this process always an equilibrium exists. So this is occurring in our nature, which is continuous and always it occurs. A student, but there are certain other chemical which can react with this O3. What they chemical are? A student, if there is other chlorine atom or other any halogen atom, if there is say chlorine atom, Cl dot is there or any X dot is there, then what will happen? It can quickly break this O2 and O3, means this O3, if these are present, from where it is coming? If we are releasing it because of our activities, like these are coming from the CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, that we have learned in our chemistry organic compound. So that makes this chlorine radical free. Now this chlorine radical will attack over this O3. Student, observe it carefully. This chlorine radical is now going to attack over this. So what is going to form? As a result, this O2 and O with Cl, OCl2. Are you getting? Two chlorine combined with one of the oxygen. This way, the amount of oxygen is increased in this layer, and OCl means the other unwanted gas form in this ozone layer. So this process of disturbing the equilibrium or concentration of our O3 in this layer is called as ozone depletion. So this way the ozone depletion occur here. Okay, student, it is very important. So this leads to ozone depletion. Ozone depletion means breaking, means the concentration or the number of ozone in this blanket of ozone layer is now reducing. So that process is called as ozone layer depletion. Now this ozone layer depletion, when it can happen? If and only if these halide or halogen radical like CFC and other are also, like your ammonium chloride or the chloroform these are the chemical. If they are able to fly to the ozone layer, then there they will make their chlorine free, which will react with this O3 present in this ozone layer, and the concentration of O3 in this ozone layer is reduced. Okay, therefore these chemical are called as ODS, ozone depleting substance. So we have to learn about how is the formation of ozone layer, how is their depletion, what are ODS, and how we can protect it. So let us quickly write. I have explained everything, student. So what is this ozone layer? Ozone layer is the thick blanket of O3 present in our atmosphere at the height of around 40 kilometers. That is called as ozone layer. Now, this ozone O3 or ozone in ozone layer is formed by the action of the UV ray coming from sun. Action of UV ray coming from sun. So this action of UV ray on whom? So this on the O2 molecule. So how this is formed? So a student, in ozone layer, initially during the formation of earth and during a long evolution of our earth, some of the gases start releasing from the atmosphere, and some of them were able to reach up to that much height, and whatever the oxygen reaching to that much height, because of the sun ray, they were getting converted into the ozone. So over a long period of time, this ozone layer was formed around the earth. Do not think over the night it was formed or God had given it. That has also evolved because of those development of ozone layer and various activities. I mean the various natural phenomena on this earth and environment or in our solar system, the life over the earth generated. And this UV ray is protecting us from the harmful UV rays from the coming from the sun. So ozone have very important role. So how this ozone is formed? A student, O2. O2 where? In upper layer of atmosphere. When UV ray from sun, when the UV ray, this I had explained here, the UV ray, the sun is containing various kind of rays. So the UV ray only interact with this oxygen and it get absorbed. Because it is interacting with this, it O2 get converted into the O3. This way the energy of UV ray is destroyed and the UV ray is not able to reach to the earth. And the other ray, what were the other ray? The other like visible ray, and so the visible light and IR infrared, all these things reaches to earth. But UV is already trapped. Get it? How is that trapping? That trapping is because of formation of O3. So this O3 called ozone is formed. Correct? So always an equilibrium So an equilibrium of formation and maintaining ozone concentration. Ozone always means O3, okay? Concentration means, student, their number in particular volume of that ozone layer. Concentration in ozone layer is maintained. Already we have used the term maintaining. So an equilibrium of formation and maintaining ozone layer concentration in ozone layer occur naturally. So occur naturally. It is a continuous process, and this occur when in day or night. A student, you are knowing that in around the earth means everywhere there is a blanket of this oxygen. So in one region, when we are facing the day, so in that region or in that part where the sun ray is falling, ozone layer is formed and equilibrium is maintained. Again, while the earth is rotating, in the other region the ozone layer is formed or ozone concentration is maintained. So this way, for us it is day and night, but for the ozone layer, always some of the part of ozone layer will always facing the earth. Like while we are having the night, our fellow which is on the opposite side of this earth, like USA and Canada, they are facing daytime. Okay? So this way this occur naturally at all the time. Students, now this ozone layer means an equilibrium occur there, but if we release certain chemical, then this equilibrium get disturbed. So right, so this concentration of ozone is always maintained. If this concentration of ozone in ozone layer is disturbed or reducing, or the thickness of ozone layer is reducing. What do we mean by thickness, student? Here we are getting that ozone is extended from this region to this region, from inner to outer. But if you consider by some process, the ozone is not able to form in this region because of larger concentration of the CFC that is being released by us. What we will get? In this region, we will get the thickness of this layer is reduced. So if this thickness is reduced or the number of ozone molecule in particular area is reduced, so that process, so here it become a lesser thicker, or in this region we are getting the number of ozone layer or ozone molecule is lesser. So such a area or such a region where the number of ozone molecule is lesser in the ozone layer or the thickness is lesser is called as ozone hole. Ozone hole means what? It is your lesser thickness or concentration of O3. So this way, as a result of the ozone depletion, what will happen? Ozone hole will form. So right, those things. So students, we have written here an equilibrium always occur. Right. a concentration is maintained and thickness is maintained. This concentration of O3, and if the concentration with the number of O3 is reduced, so the thickness of ozone layer is reduced, then it is called as ozone depletion. Ozone depletion. Something depleting means reducing. So we have to learn about this ozone depletion. So this ozone depletion is caused by certain chemical that we are releasing. So this ozone depletion otherwise, if there is no any external chemical in this layer, then always some of the ozone are naturally breaking and the same number is formed. So a concentration is maintained. But this ozone depletion means breaking or breaking of ozone layer is accelerated or intensified, or simple word, increased by external chemicals released by human in this atmosphere, which reaches to this higher altitude, which higher altitude. So this depletion is accelerated by external chemical that we are releasing. So such a chemical which is destroying the ozone is called ozone depleting substance. So right, such chemical these chemical are basically released mostly by the human, which can deplete or destroy. Destroy is better word. You can also use the deplete, which can destroy or reduce. Depletion means reduction. It simply means that. Destroy means totally get removed or depletes. So such chemical which destroy or depletes the ozone O3 in our ozone layer is called what they are? ODS. So this ODS full form is ozone depleting substance. Ozone depleting substance. Like, so what are the example of this ozone depleting substance? CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. Other one, the chloroform. So this CFC, chloroform, all the halogen containing organic compound. They are called as the halides. So halogen group containing compounds that we have learned in our organic chemistry also. What is the CFC, student? We have learned no CH2Cl2. It is this one. Chloroform CHCl3. It is this one. It is our chlorofluorocarbon. Student, this CFC is basically like this one. Chlorine, which contain fluorine, as well as this chlorine. So there is carbon containing fluorine and chlorine. All this. So these have the maximum tendency. It is your like this one. Fluorine, fluorine, and chlorine, chlorine, and hydrogen is this. It is this molecule. It is called as the CFC. Okay. It have the maximum tendency because it have tendency to give the fluorine as well as the chlorine. Now this fluorine and chlorine I had explained here. These fluorine and chlorine means these are the halide. They can attack over this ozone to form O2. So the formation of or rate of formation of O2 is increased. This way the thickness is reduced. Another OCl is formed. Now this OCl have again another tendency that it can again release this Cl dot and oxygen. Now this oxygen and Cl, this Cl can again attack with the other O3 present here. So this way a chain reaction means continuous reaction occur. That one. So these chemical have those tendencies. You have to keep these two example in your mind. So these are called as ODS, ozone depleting substance. What is this ozone hole? Sometimes ozone hole is also asked. So thus ozone hole is formed. Ozone hole is what? Ozone hole is that region of ozone layer where the concentration or thickness of ozone layer is lesser than the usual one. So ozone layer, ozone hole, it was once asked to define ozone hole. So ozone hole is the area on ozone layer where the thickness is lesser. Thickness is reduced than the usual, or the number of O3, that is sometimes also using the term concentration of O3 in that particular area is reduced. So such an area is called as ozone hole. So it is the area where O3 concentration is lesser. So reduced, or sometimes also using the term lesser than the other area. Get it? Like here I have made one ozone hole. Student, I had explained that in this region earlier, when this region was healthy, the ozone was extended to higher concentration in this region than the same concentration as the other have, but more ODS have reached to this region. As a result, these are being depleted and the thickness of this area is reduced, and also the number of O3 molecule in this area is reduced. So therefore this area is called as ozone hole. Okay, student, it is this. So student, this way we have learned about how the ozone hole is formed, what are the ODS, ozone depleting substance, what are the importance of this ozone layer. So student, ozone hole or ozone layer depletion or ozone hole formation is harmful for the life, not only life, even for both living and non-living things on the earth. Is ozone layer depletion and formation is detrimental. Write the common word. Detrimental means that have tendency to cause some harm, okay, or use this harmful only, harmful at this your level, because this detrimental word may not, you may not recall it. Okay, so this ozone layer depletion or ozone hole formation is harmful for earth. This harmful, why it is harmful? As it allows the UV ray to reach on earth, because earlier it was trapped by ozone layer. Now it is not trapped, means it can reach to the earth. So UV ray harmful for the, as it allows the UV ray from the sun, UV ray coming from the sun to reach to earth, which causes, what are the harmful effects? Which causes the disease like cancer. So many more diseases are there. Even the cancer occurring in blood is called as leukemia, okay, which causes, or even skin burn, eye burn, all those things, okay, causes the disease it is disease like cancer. Cancer may be your skin cancer also, your skin burn, or your skin cancer. Eye, the eye get damaged to maximum extent, eye burn, blood cancer. It was asked once, the effect of UV ray on human could be, the option was different disease name were given, in that one was leukemia. So leukemia can occur if this ozone is able to reach on the earth and our blood can come in contact with that. So blood cancer is called as leukemia. Okay, so write that term also, blood cancer called leukemia. Okay, it is this one. So you just, at least you must remember the term like cancer, eye burn, skin burn. So these are, because they have very high energy, and our cells have their own energy, because for the existence or for the survival of cell it need energy, but energy should be in certain reason, or energy should be of such wavelength or such frequency that it could be tolerated by our body. Like the heat or the temperature that we can tolerate is nothing but the heat, but if the temperature is too high we are feeling uncomfortable. Why uncomfortable? Because our cells are not able to tolerate that. In the similar fashion, this UV ray are the energy pocket which are very high energy. It interact with our body cells, it disturb our chromosome. And chromosome is what? Chromosome have genes, and these genes are giving the instruction for particular activity. Once that coding or that gene pattern is changed, means this cell will start growing abnormally. That abnormal growth or death of this cell is called as cancer. It is that much simple. So that much detail is not required, but you must keep this thing in mind. So what is the importance of this ozone layer? So all these that I have written are the importance of ozone layer. Importance of ozone layer. Get it? So this way, this ozone layer traps the UV ray and protects us from the harmful effect of UV ray. Thus, ozone layer traps the UV ray and protect us from harmful effect like cancer. This statement you must keep in mind. So this is the importance. If importance is asked, then you must write this statement. This is very important. So whatever we have discussed, it is just summary of that. So it is this one. If this ozone is that much important and our activities like formation of CFC is disturbing this, then how to protect this? A student, this ozone layer depletion was very first detected in year 1886. Students, sorry, it was in 1980s basically. The correct year is 1986. In that, this was first detected that in certain region the thickness of ozone is reducing. There the name ozone depletion and this ozone hole was given. Later on, by knowing this, the various countries started effort to correct it. How to correct? Whatever the ODS that is being generated or the artificial chemical which are reaching to the atom up to this ozone layer, that need to be reduced. That's so simple. So after discovery of this ozone hole or ozone depletion in 1886, since 90s, the United Nations start putting effort for creating the awareness among the countries so that further depletion can be avoided and reduce the production or use of these ODS, so that this ozone layer will get normalized, means get its original thickness, or no further depletion of ozone. So those things are also asked. So how to protect? So protection method. So ozone layer depletion or you may call as this as the ozone hole was detected in 1986. This will help you in understanding this year. Then after this detection, the United Nations organization under their environment program called UNEP, they start creating awareness, bring the conference with the different countries for the meeting, and they made agreed for different countries to reduce the release of this harmful chemical. So right, then since 1987, UNO, everyone is knowing, no? What is this full form? United Nations Organization. UNO under United, because UNO is conducting so many kind of activities or program. One is for the climate change, another for avoiding this global warming, another for reducing the ozone layer depletion, another for creating awareness among the people to avoid depletion of the forest. So many programs they are conducting. Okay, even for the charity of the charity and welfare of the children, UNICEF, and many more are there. Correct? So UNO under UNEP program, so write that full form, United Nation Environment Protection meant program UNEP. Okay, student, keep this in mind. So since 1987, means after detecting this year, so UNEP succeeded in forging agreement to freeze the CFC production. So put effort to reduce the production and release of ODS. ODS means it is our CFC, chloroform, etc. Where we are using this CFC, earlier days it was used as refrigerant. Okay, student, in our freezer. But now it is not used. Another gas is used. etc. The release of the production and release of ODS by convening international conference, by bringing or making, better word is convening international conference of all the nations, though some of the nations are not participating. The nations. So this is all party, means all the country meeting where they decides how to protect this ozone layer. So what is this UNEP? It is for the protection of environment it is reduce the depletion, means ozone environment include your ozone layer also, protection What is the method used? The method is reduce ODS, their production and release. Finally, at Kyoto, which is in the Japan, it was agreed. So in a meeting of this all party, okay, now all the nations at Kyoto. This Kyoto is a place in Japan. It was agreed by all the nations to freeze or reduce. Basically, freeze means no further production. All the nation to freeze CFC production. CFC is what? ODS, one of the ODS. Production at 1986 level. Okay, means it was agreed that no further CFC should be produced or released by any of the country, so that the CFC level should remain freezed, what was detected in 1986. Okay, it is this. So therefore this agreement is called as Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol. Montego Protocol and many more are there. And it was finally adopted in 2007. It was finally agreed by all the countries. So those here are not important, but you just understand what is to be freezed. It is the ban put over the further production of the CFC. So internationally it is accepted at the Kyoto. A student, regarding the CFC, why this is a good refrigerant or freezer. Used in, where it is used? In our refrigerator. There is one device called, or a cylinder is there called compressor. So inside the compressor, this CFC was used earlier. Now it is being changed. Used in refrigerator. Or your AC. Simply all the, wherever there is compressor, there it was used. Compression. But now the production of CFC is not permitted. That's why nowadays we are using different kind of gas like R2. So though this CFC have very good tendency of removing the heat, because this compressor are taking the heat from the inner region and sending it to the other. The efficiency of other gases are lesser in comparison to CFC, but now it is being banned. Only for the medical purposes it can be used. So this was all about our protection of ozone layer. So this way, so by question is asked, by which protocol protection of ozone layer is ensured? So by the Kyoto Protocol. So right, by Kyoto Protocol means a convention where all the countries have agreed. The protection of ozone layer is ensured. Okay, so only this much. This is another very important statement that you need to keep in mind. Where is Kyoto? It was also asked once. It is in Japan. Okay, student. So these are the things that you need to. What are the important ODS? That is also asked. So ozone depleting substance like CFC, chloroform, all these things are there. What is ozone layer? What are the importance of ozone layer? So that was also asked. I have explained everything and written everything in a very concise manner. What is this ozone layer? Where they are found? It was also asked. In NTSE, it was asked not this height, rather this stratosphere word was used. So you keep in mind. In academic, you can leave this term stratosphere. You can just write at the upper atmosphere. That is also okay. But you must keep this data in mind. What is the height of ozone layer? By this way, you can understand it is a blanket. What are the activities that is occurring? How is the formation? How is the ozone depletion? What is ozone hole? Everything we have explained here. How is the formation? So student, you please go through this. So it was all about our ozone related topic. We have finished this. Now let us go for the waste. Greenhouse gas is not in your syllabus. We are going for waste material or effect of the waste material. Garbage or waste material affecting our environment. Students, here how they are affecting, much more detail are not there, but we have to learn about the type of waste that we have to learn. So whatever the various waste generated by the human activities or industries, by human activities are disturbing the balance of environment called, so this disturbing the balance of environment called as environment pollution. So environment pollution is caused by waste generation. Now this waste may be your solid waste, maybe your liquid waste, maybe your gaseous waste, maybe your, there are certain other activity like we are producing sound, no waste but energy we are adding. So unwanted energy added to environment, what the environment cannot digest. So solid, where the solid will lies, it will be lying somewhere on our land. The solid cannot always fly in atmosphere. So this leads to land pollution. Liquid always have to be discharged into the where? Sea? No. Very first we are throwing it into the river, then through the river it will go to the sea. So this way, liquid pollution. That liquid exclusively is our water. So it is commonly called as water pollution. So water in all the form or in all the sources, like your river. So death of river. Death of river is what? Doesn't mean the water is totally removed. The water is so contaminated or so polluted that it is not useful for the aquatic life present in that river, then the river is said to be dead. Once this definition was also asked. So river, pond, lake, finally the ocean also gets contaminated. The gas, where the gas lies, it is our the environment, basically the atmosphere. So it is our atmosphere. So atmosphere or gaseous pollution. It is of these three kinds. The unwanted energy, when means high noise or sound like cacophony, reverberation, all these sounds. So this causes your noise pollution. Many more are there. If any industry is releasing high temperature in river, then the temperature of that river means the water temperature will rise. That is also unwanted addition. As a result, the river or aquatic life in the river is disturbed. So all this. So wastes are affecting in different form to the different region. Now these waste which are generated can be classified. So type of waste. So which kind of waste is affecting our environment? A student, the waste which is not digested by the environment or which is not recycled by the environment, so those waste are called as non-biodegradable waste and they are harmful for our environment. So right, these non-biodegradable waste, like waste maybe your the peel of the banana that you are taking, like potato skin or the tomato other or vegetables you are using or peeling off, that may be the waste, or the waste may be the plastic bag in which you are carrying the vegetable from the market. Both are waste for us. But these vegetable waste or banana peels, all these things gets converted into the soil or get degraded or finally get converted into a smaller pieces and meat in our soil without disturbing the environment. But the plastic pieces, what you are throwing, even after a year you can get the plastic at the same place. So banana is not disturbing, or these vegetable wastes are not disturbing our environment because their recycling life is very less. But the plastic which are not degradable, they are causing harmful effect. In addition to that, this plastic and other non-degradable material have one kind of chemical in them. So while it is degrading, then it always release some other unwanted gases, so that also cause environment pollution or air pollution. Okay, student? So this way, so these pollution, so right, pollution or environment pollution is caused by whom? Which kind of waste, student? Non-degradable. Means it is basically called as non-biodegradable. Means automatically it shall be degraded or destroyed or digested by our environment. Like vegetable waste, banana waste, all these things, or this leaves falling from the tree, automatically they get degraded. Okay, they're destroyed by the nature itself. Finally it mix in our soil. But those substances which are not degraded or not destroyed or not digested by our environment, they are called as non-biodegradable. Okay, so this environment pollution is caused by non-biodegradable material or non-biodegradable substance. Okay, student, it is important. So question was asked from this one. Environment pollution is caused by all kind of waste we are generating, biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, none of these. Option was like this. So you shall mark the non-biodegradable first, because if it is the biodegradable, that is not contaminating or not polluting, because the nature have their own recycling process. So in that recycling process, it is digested by the nature. But non-biodegradable have very longer life, and it is not digested by our nature or not recycled by our nature. So right, these waste may be of the two category. Right, quickly about them. The very first one is called as biodegradable waste. Differences are also asked. That's why I'm writing non-biodegradable. Students, biodegradable waste, the name itself, it is stated bio. Bio means what? Life. Degradable means it get degraded or destroyed. Means the waste which is automatically destroyed by the nature are called as biodegradable. So right, wastes which are destroyed and digested by nature or our environment in shorter time. This is important. This shorter time may be a week to a month to a year, but not more than an year. Getting no? If the waste is destroying or degraded in more than 1 year, then that kind of waste are not falling in the category of biodegradable. Okay, so these wastes which are not degraded or destroyed or digested mean the same thing. Digested means something made into a small pieces and it is no longer present there. That is called digest. So degraded, the waste which are not degraded or destroyed by our environment are called as non-biodegradable. So students, why it is biodegradable? So these waste are commonly obtained from some of the living sources. It is that one, like the leaf of the plant. Even after shedding of leaf from the plant, the leaf automatically get destroyed by the microorganism present in the soil or in our environment, like ant and many more. So the source of this waste is what? Natural or life. What are the example? Example, night soil or the vegetable waste, leaves, etc. Many more are biodegradable because they are obtained from the nature or from the living being, means life or living substance. But the source of this non-biodegradable waste is artificial one, like plastic. Can we get the plastic on a tree, student? No, we cannot get. Rubber, the natural rubber are biodegradable, but artificial or synthetic rubber are not biodegradable. So the source are artificial. Example, plastic, synthetic rubber, okay. These are many more could be the, but student, if it is asked in the natural rubber, what you will write? Or unprocessed rubber, that is your biodegradable. So write natural or unprocessed rubber that we are obtaining from tree. Like what they are? The lax that we are getting, the milk from the tree we are getting, and that is converted or pasted into the rubber form, they are biodegradable. So there is a difference. So question is always asked in the form of synthetic or natural rubber. Both will be given to you in the option. You always mark the synthetic rubber as non-biodegradable and the natural rubber as biodegradable. Okay, many more example are there. Plastic include all kind of plastic. Okay, biodegradable, you may write the more. Wood or the used furniture, clothes, cotton clothes are biodegradable, but the plastic clothes or nylon, tarlene, these are not biodegradable. So student, cotton clothes right here, cotton clothes. But here these examples are very important. Question are framed in MCQ based on this example. Some option will be given. What is biodegradable? What is non-biodegradable? Either their definition will be asked or their example will be asked. Okay, student. So right here, artificial silk or this nylon, tarlene, these kind of polyesters. So right, polyester clothes, nylon, tarlene, it is. So all these are the artificial clothes not the cotton cloth. Okay, so these are the basic differences. Their sources, how much time it is taking. So a student, write one more in this non-biodegradable. It takes several years or even hundreds of years of year to destroy and digest by environment. So because of this characteristic, it causes environment pollution. So it causes environment pollution. What is this? It do not causes environment pollution. Okay, students, it is this one. Means it get biodegradable. On this side, on left hand side, we have biodegradable. Okay, now student. Versus on the right side, we have non-biodegradable waste. So the biodegradable waste, what is happening? It gets recycled by the nature itself. So it gets recycled by nature itself. That's why, because of this recycling, it do not causes environment pollution. It is not easily or even not recycled or sometimes easily not easily recycled. Any word may be in your question. Not easily recycled by nature. This thing you have to keep in mind. Students, this will also destroy, but it will take hundreds of years or so many years. I have written here. Takes several years to destroy. So that's why it may be recycled by the nature, but very difficult to recycle or not easily recycled. In the meantime, it causes so many kind of pollutions. So these are about the biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Okay. The example that we have already written, they are very important, like the kitchen waste, the vegetable waste, the leaf, the paper, wood, grass, all these are. But the glass item, plastic item, they are in this category. So you must keep in mind the waste that we have written, their name are also important. Say the glass is also non-biodegradable. Okay, so glass item. Let us add some more in on this side also. The paper is biodegradable, but the lead present in the paper, the lead element, that is non-biodegradable, and that finally when it is drained into the river, that causes the lead pollution. That is another thing. So these are the few examples that you need to keep in mind. So this was all about our waste which is affecting the environment. Now, how to protect So for protection, whatever the waste generated, that have to be reduced. That's so simple. So right, protection of environment. So what is this environment protection? Means the resources that we are generating for ourselves, at the same time some other unwanted substance are generating which is affecting our environment. So if the resource generation is reduced, then this pollution will also reduce. So students, for this protection, the ultimate purpose is to reduce the waste generation by waste generation and disposal. Disposal means release, okay, now to environment by triple R technique. What they are? Nowadays 4R are there, but triple R is more common. The first one is R is for reduce the waste generation, whatever we have written here. Reduce the waste generation or generating resources. So generate only that much resources which are needed. The second one is how to reduce the waste generation. Example, while we are going to the market, we are taking the polythene or asking the polythene from the shopkeeper, and we are putting the vegetable or the substance we have purchased in that polythene, and we are coming, and the useful material we are using, but the polythene that we have taken from the shopkeeper, that is again thrown into the dustbin. So for that, very first what we can do, use own bag. Get it? For marketing to reduce polythene or plastic Student B, we are going to our school how? By driving the scooty or even car. How much kilometer our school is? 20 kilometer? Yeah, hardly 500 meter or even 2 kilometer or 1 kilometer. But we are using our car and we are releasing large amount of exhaust or smoke into our environment that causes the environment pollution. So better to use cycle or walking for nearby market and school. To reduce the exhaust from the vehicle, to reduce the exhaust from vehicle. This exhaust from vehicle, this causes air pollution or environment pollution. Okay, it is like that. So many example you can take. Accordingly, you have to write few more example if required. Second one is reduce the waste generation or even the resources that we need. So use optimum resource. The second one is which one? Reuse. The material for other purposes. Example, cloth after wearing may be used for mopping. After uses can be used for mopping. B, just I am writing one or two example. Water after washing vegetable used in garden. The third trick is recycle. The waste example, polythene or even newspaper should be recycled to get the new paper. So polythene or plastic cycled to new shape. Many more recycling can be done. This is the most common. B, even the glass bottle. Even the electronic material can also be recycled, like silicon and many other elements are there. So all these are. So these are the techniques that can be adopted, or our habit can be changed for the protection of environment. Here the triple R, it is this. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this way we have, yeah.
Sir, refuse and repurpose is also there.
Pardon?
Sir, refuse and repurpose.
Yeah, that can be used. It is there. Yeah, it is added in in your book. So it is basically better one is reduce. This is being further now broken into the another two more. Either refuse the use. That refuse the use, better term is an optimum use of resources. Optimum use of resource. Optimum use means whatever is required, use only that much. So it is your refuse the excess use. The excess use. So right here, make it fourth one. While you are asking, this may be in your book. So refuse. So how much is required? Use only that much. Okay. Again, this recycling, that is called as refurbishment, or just create the new one. So these three are the most suitable one. Even in explanation, you can use this refuse one for the excess use, or optimum use. It simply means that one. So at least you must write these three. If you want, or if you could recall the other two are, then you can also recall it. but these three are more important. Yeah, anything else? Then please tell me. So this was all about this chapter. Student, I have explained everything. Now I think it is difficult for us to start the Mendeleev periodic table. So let us quickly recap. So we have started with the factor affecting our environment. In that, the very first one is our ozone. So ozone is what? Allotrope of oxygen. How the ozone is formed? How is this ozone and oxygen are allotrope? Where this ozone layer is there? Then we have learned their formation. Then after their formation, we have learned about why this sidebar have generated. How to hide it? Okay, let us leave it. We have learned about the environment protection, the harmful effect of our activities, and finally for the environment protection. So this was all about. Finally, you have to write your homework. Students, complete this chapter. You please read this textbook, chapter number 15. It is one thing. Then you also have to do the exercise question and blue question. Please finish this. Let us end the class. We will start tomorrow our periodic table. Otherwise, if I start today, at least I will teach for another 1 hour, so it becomes very difficult. Okay, student. So this was all about today class. Yeah, any doubt then please ask. Otherwise, we shall stop the class here. Yeah, student.